So, welcome everybody to the session. I hope all of you can see and hear me clearly. Uh, if the voice, the audio, and the video is fine, uh, please, you don't have to say anything. But if there's anything wrong, any glitches, please point out. Things should be okay, but in any case, we should not take any chances. And I believe all of you are aware of what we are going to take up today. We're going to look at, how do we tackle error spotting or sentence correction questions. Sentence correction is actually a name that that is stuck, right? It is something which comes in GMAT. The format is little bit longer type of questions, more logical, more challenging. But yes, that also is, those types also we will see. In any case, it is based on how do you spot errors. Mostly grammar and vocab will come into the picture, but beyond grammar and vocab, we also have to be clear about what the sentence intends to say, right? So we will see various questions taken from XLRI, from XAT, around 12, 13 questions we will discuss. And each question will have, of course, a different approach, but in all of them, you will see that vocabulary, grammar, and your logical skills as in what does the sentence intend to say. If you have these three skills, you will be definitely able to answer these questions. So all good to go, I think. Everybody can see and hear me clearly, I think, right? So let me first begin by telling you about the XAT 2021 exam analysis. The exam, all of you know, is on the 3rd of January, Sunday, right? The exam will be over at 12:30. The live exam analysis will start at 12:45. We will discuss expected cutoff, overall difficulty, right? And if some questions we can remember, we will try to do that also. For this, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned to Gradeup, to the channel. So this is the first question. This is something which is from XAT past year paper, and if you notice, choose the correct statement from the following 5 options. So essentially this is grammar, but well, when we say grammar, let's not forget vocabulary, the correct use of the word, or even the sentence, what the sentence wants to say. So welcome all of you once again. I hope all of you can read the directions. What are we supposed to do? Choose the correct statement. For this, there's nothing like a specific magic trick. The only thing is we will have to keep read each of the sentences and see what is wrong with each of them. Sometimes you will find the error, sometimes you will be able to spot the error quite quickly. For example, since this is the first question, let me point out when Tony and him. Now the first thing which I notice here is this is an objective pronoun, but the subject here is, this is the first subject, Tony, this is the second subject, right? So if I'm using a pronoun as the subject, I cannot use the objective form. So here I should use he, right? So this is clearly a mistake. Once we spot a mistake, do not read ahead. It's wrong, right? Now come to the next sentence and see what is wrong with that. Right. In the same way, since it's the first question, let me discuss it with everybody. Even in C, when Tony and himself is something which we will use only when the object and the subject are the same. It's like saying, if I say he hurt himself, I would say he hurt himself only when this object and the subject are the same. This is called this is the reflexive pronoun. Even if I do not know the details, it is still fine. So Prakriti has given her answer. What about the others? I have, by the way, helped you eliminate 2 options. Right. Now, clearly E is also wrong. When Tony, him, this is clearly wrong. Right. So, E is also clearly wrong. Only two options are left, B and D. Right. So, what should be the best answer? Right. Now, if you notice, there's nothing grammatically wrong with D as such. When him and Tony, okay, there's grammatically what is wrong. Him is clearly wrong, right? So if him could not be used as the object, if this is the subject, this is also another subject. So I cannot use him as the subject. So what is clearly the answer is B, right? So Yash, Prakriti, and Manjusha Your answers are correct, right? I hope everybody else is picking up. It is not really, this question is based on basics, right? Pronoun, the use of pronoun, what is used as a subject, what is used as the object, what is the reflexive form. These are things that all of you have done in school. So, as I was telling you, questions can range from something like this, which cover the basics of grammar, to even slightly more complex ones, which we will encounter. We will take it up as we reach. So this was the first question. So everybody is clear with this, I hope, right? So the answer to this question is B. So notice how I eliminated each, the wrong options, right? Finding a mistake is enough. Now, this question, you are supposed to replace the italicized, the part which is italicized, it cannot be seen very clearly, so I have highlighted it using red. So this is the part which has to be replaced. Now, in this question, more than grammar, you will require logical skills. You will require to understand what does the sentence want to say, and each of the options, what do they end up saying. So there should be no discrepancy between the intention and the action. So intention and the action should be the same. Let's see. So take some time here. A very simple thing is, most people make the mistake of focusing only on the underlined part. Of course, you have to focus on that also, but you will have to pay attention, read the entire sentence and find out what does the author want to say. Your knowledge of sentence structure, what is the subject, what are clauses, what are the clauses there, and in that clause, in the clauses, what are the subjects, what are the verbs, that will also definitely help, right? So quickly attempt it. Here I will wait for you to respond, then we will discuss the answers. Okay, so Apurva, Manjusha have already given their answers. Prakriti also quick to respond, good, right? Not that I'm confirming your answers, but not denying them also. Let's wait for the others to respond also. Harshita also has responded. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so many of you are saying the answer is B. What is wrong with A? What is the problem with A? The tremendous insight of Einstein was that the passage of time does not appear to be the same while standing still as it does to a person. Now, when I say while standing still, right, forget everything. Ask yourself, who is going to stand still? Who is the person who is going to stand still? It is not clearly indicated. So this means this sentence, if I look at A, it is not going to be enough. While standing still, who's going to stand still? Not clear. So eliminate that now. B, to a person standing still. Now, to a person standing still, this is clear. To a person who's standing still, right? Even C is fine. But what is the problem? C, to a person who's standing still, though it is longer, there's nothing wrong with it. Still, as a person. Now, you're not comparing one person to another person. You are comparing the effect to a person and the effect to another person. So you will require to here also. So I will eliminate it. C also. While is, as I was telling you, the problem of who still persists if I use while, right? So to a person standing still as to a person who travels. Now, the problem with this is to a person standing still as to a person who travels. Now I am using a clause here to modify the person, but the person here is modified not by a clause but by a phrase, which means there's a mismatch. There's something like it's like the weighing scale is thrown out of balance. So the best answer here is B. So most of you got the answer correct. Good to know that you are able to catch the finer aspects. This means that you are already prepared. This means that you have a keen eye. So that is what is required. So we have done 2 questions so far, and if you notice, this is the third question. Again, this third question is, if you look at the first and the second question, first question was purely basics of grammar. Second question, some amount of thinking as to the meaning is required. Let's try the third also. Let's see. 30 seconds to solve the answer, to solve the question. So identify the correct statement is what you have to do. Now, Apurva thinks the answer is E. Apurva, okay. Harshita also thinks the answer is E. Those of you who think the answer is E, right, tell me what is the problem with E. If you notice, if aspirants had not taken, and had aspirants not taken, these two structures are virtually the same thing, right? So those of you who are saying E is the answer, it means that A is wrong. But what is the problem with A? Harshita, might not have is here also, right? Might not have is the same here. What is the difference? What's the difference between A and E? The only difference, if you notice, apart from the structure, this structure, as I was telling you, if X had not taken, is the same as saying had X not taken. Now, you will find that the only difference is, if I highlight, in one sentence you use each, and in one sentence you use all. So this question is essentially about the difference between each and all. Clear? Right. It's a difference between each and all. Now, what's the difference between each and all? When I say all, it means collectively. If you know, it's like all. If there are 10, if I say all of them, right? If I say all of them are from a certain batch, it means all of them belong to one batch. If I say each of them belong to a certain batch, it means each one belong to different batches. Each is distributive, all is not distributive, right? So if you notice, so long checking all questions, do you check the focus? Is the focus on one by one, or are you focusing on checking the questions all at once? What is the focus on? One of you thinks the answer is C. Had not took. So if you use had, you cannot use took, right? And B, there is no not, right? So if is a comparison. If and had is the same thing. I'll do one thing. The best answer to this question is A. The best answer to this question is A. Let's do one thing. I will make the sentence blank for some time. I'm going to write, an easier form. If I say, if he had done X, he would not have got Y. Now, if he had not done X, he would not have got Y. It's the same as saying, had he done X, right, he would not have got Y. This structure, had he done X, he would not have got Y. This structure is the same. If he had done and had he done is the same. So this is basically the same thing, right? Now, the difference is nothing else but difference between each and all. I'll tell you the difference. If I say there are 20 students, okay, and if I say 20 students, right, each of them from a district, right? In the same sentence, let's call this A. In the same sentence, replace each with all and see the difference. So if I use all instead of each, I will call it B. You will see the difference. 20 students, if I say each of them from a district, the meaning of A is that 20 students, all of them belong to one district. This is the meaning of A. Sorry, this is the meaning of not A, B. If I say all of them, right? If I say this is not B, sorry, this is A. If 20 students, all of them from a district, that means there is one district and there are 20 students and all of them belong to one district, right? So now, but if I look at A would be there are 20 students and there are 20 districts also. So 1, 2, 3, 4, so count the number. So it's like, it means 20 students and 20 districts. This is the meaning of A. Each is distributive. Is it clear? So checking each question one by one, checking all questions all at once. So you're going to look at checking the questions one by one, right? So that way the best answer is A. Everybody got this point, I hope. So this is slightly confusing, right? Again, this is the basics difference between each and all, right? So Yash, if you have anything to ask, you can, not a problem, you can ask any question, provided it will not involve a very long discussion. If it is something which can be answered very soon, I will definitely take it up. Is everybody clear with this? So the only difference between A and B in this question is one has each, the other one has all. All means all of them at one. Will you check all the questions at one go, or will you check the questions one by one? Right. So let's see. This is the third question. I will show you the fourth question. In the meantime, I'll try to answer one question which is posed by Yash. Okay. You have given 2 unsuccessful attempts of medical entrance in NET after 12. So do you mean to say that will this affect your candidature? See, first of all, what is in the past, like your marks, your academic record, is something which you cannot change. The first thing, you cannot change it. So do not stop worrying about it. Right. The only thing which is in your hand would be the exam results and also your performance in the second round. Yes, there are some institutes which which give preference to people who do not have year breaks and all, but that is only this is nothing like prescribed. It is only a matter of perception than anything else, right? So if you are afraid of this, right, it should not be a problem, provided you are able to explain in the interview, if at all they ask you. But do not worry about it. As I was telling you, your past, your career, your academic record is something which is beyond you. Right. So next question, different people giving different answers, B, C, and E. Right. So identify the correct statements. So what is the correct statement? Let's see. So some of you have given the answers. I'm waiting for those of you who are watching me on YouTube to come up with the answer so that we can continue. Right. So what is the answer? Yes, if you're taking, the NET 2021, depends on you. I mean, that is something which that first of all, look at your skill, look at your aptitude, right? By the way, well, it depends entirely on your aptitude and skill. Well, if you get through NET, it's perfectly fine, right? The only thing is NET will require more preparation. It will require more intensive preparation because it's an academic oriented exam. Right, it's an academic oriented exam, so that is something which will, which will be a little bit personal as such. The only thing I can tell you is MB entrance exams will not require too much of academic preparation, but in NET you will require academic, perception, right? So, by the way, in the news recently, there was a person who at a quite advanced age cleared NET. So this is perfectly the choice of the person. So let's see, all of you have given the answers. The best answer to this question is B. Let's see. The news channel agreed to report that next Sunday the couple had been. Now, had been, it's in the past. It's next Sunday, future, so it cannot be had been. Right. Now, the agreed to report that next Sunday the couple will have been. Will have been means you are speaking about the future. So next Sunday their marriage anniversary, it will be the 10th marriage anniversary. So the will have been is perfectly fine. What is the problem with C? C, will be married. It looks like a prediction. The continuity is not indicated if I simply say will be married for 10 years, right? So it's like a continuous stretch, right? So the duration cannot be brought out if I use will be married. Will have been married. This is the easier way to say this, right? So everybody is clear with this? All clear, right? So the best answer to this question is B, not C. What is wrong with D, right? Agreed to report could have been. It's not a possibility. 10 years anniversary is not a possibility, right? So that is the case, right? The news channel agreed to report that next Sunday the couple has been. Okay, if it is next Sunday, how can I say has been? So that's also what is the case, right? This was the fourth question. Next question is 5. Let's see. Okay, one of you is also asking me a question. Let me try to address your question here. I'm from Hindi medium, but how can I crack? Dekho, being from Hindi medium or not is not the issue. The issue is how well are you capable of comprehending and reading passages written in English, right? How well are you familiar with the English language? Because the exam is conducted in English. So do one thing. Shikha, if you are not very sure of where do you stand, pick up past papers. They will be available online, and you can try and see how much you're able to score and compare it with that year's, scores of the people who took it. These are very easily available. So the best thing to try out would be to to solve past year papers, right? So question number 5, people have already started started answering. Let's see. Okay, something which is grammatically incorrect, which means all the others will be correct, everything else will be correct. The only thing that is wrong is this, is would be one statement, right? So bats are able to fly in the dark. Are able to indicates ability, can fly and are able to, essentially the same thing, right? They can fly, possibly it's like they have the ability. Able to and can fly, right? In the present tense, there's not much of a difference, right? Have the ability to fly in the dark is also fine. Cannot fly in the dark if it rains, which means if it rains, they cannot. The problem here is, as many of you are saying, like Rishikesh, Manjusha, Shikha, Yash, Mohammed Saifuddin, all of you, your answers are correct. The answer is E. Have the ability of, this is what is wrong, right? If I say the ability, look at the difference. Ability to do something, right? I cannot write it like ability of. If I say ability of, it looks like ability of a person. It looks like somebody's ability, right? So should be ability to do something, right? Yeah, for ability, if he has the ability or he is able to, right? If you want to say, you'll have to say able to or ability to do something, right? Ability of sounds like somebody's ability. So it looks like ability of X, ability of Ramesh. So it looks like the ability of a person. So this is what is the answer. Everybody is clear with this, I hope. So the answer to this question is E. All got it? Everybody got the point? So this is, again, if you notice, more than grammar, this is how you interpret the sentence. This is a very fine point, right? Everybody got the point, I think. So let's look at the next one, right? Now, this question, the only thing that will be challenging here is you will have to read a little bit more, because the sentence is wrong, right? The sentence is long, and you'll have to find out what is correct. So try to spot the errors. Let's see. Now, to make it easier, eliminate the ones which are clearly wrong. Eliminate the ones which are clearly wrong, right? The sentences which are clearly wrong, and point out, and you will probably be able to zero in. So, Khushbu and Ishika are saying the answer is D. Khushbu and Ishika think the answer is E. What about the others? Right. Answer is D to both of you, according to you. Right. Not confirming if it is right or wrong. Let's see. So Apurva, Manjusha also, almost, people are coming up with the answers. Let's see. Now, let me point out the errors. Support from them who, clearly wrong, because in this clause, you require a subject in the beginning, right? So if who is in the subjective case, I cannot use them here, right? He, you do not require just one person, right? It's a group of people. So C is also wrong, right? Now E, from that who, so that, it's that, first of all, is singular, right? So it's not just one person, so it will have to be. So what is wrong is this. So 3 things I've eliminated. So check the difference between D and A. Tell me what's the difference between D and A, right? So now it's good to know that everybody is getting the answer correct, right? So the answer is D. The only difference between D and A is this. In A you have they, while in D you have those. Those is preferable here because it becomes a specific group of people who are, so it's not simply, considerable support from some people. Considerable support from some people. Which people? Who had previously challenged this leadership. Because of this clause here, those is more suitable, because you are pointing out and saying those people. कौन से people? Those people who had these issues. So the better answer here is D. Everybody got the point. Now if you notice, if you eliminate the wrong ones, it becomes a little bit less confusing. So eliminate whatever contains the mistake. So, and if you notice, it was easier choosing between A and D. Otherwise, it would have been a big hotspots, would have been a big issue. Everybody got the point, I hope. Let's try the next question. Which of the following is the correct form of expression for the underlined part of the sentence below? Right. Now, let me tell you, this question is taken from one of the actual exams, right? But the answer which is given here, right, is also not correct. But this is a wrong question. I'm discussing this with you intentionally. But you can find the best answer. You can find the closest. The closest one will also be not 100% perfect. But that is the closest one. So in any case, you have to mark. You can pick one, but that one which you pick will also have an error. But that is the least, that is the most acceptable of the answer options. Let's see. Right. So Sudeepta, Khushbu and Shikha think the answer is A. Right. Now, I hope you are doing it by elimination, and I'll point out, once you're through, everybody is saying answer is A. Apurva, Rahul, Shikha, Zehra is everybody, Manjusha. Zehra thinks the answer is B. Right. Zehra, nevertheless, right. If I start with not only, then but also is necessary. So eliminate wherever there is no but also. Not only means in the second part you will have to have but and also, right? So nevertheless is wrong, right? And is also wrong, right? But also is here also, but is also one of the older. The problem is one of the older means, you do not know what is compared with what, right? And if you notice, E is also wrong, is not only the capital of Bihar. This part is fine, but the problem is with older. Okay, so you are left with only one option, that is A, right? So A is the best answer. What is the problem with A? A can still be corrected. Patna is already there. Not only the capital, you do not require it is, but also, right? The best thing would be Patna is not only X, but also Y. So the it is also redundant in A. But given this is the best way of answering the question. Everything else contains a mistake. Right. So a lot of people have started giving, a lot of people have given the answers, right? Correct. Yash, Revati, Shivam, Mohammed Saifuddin, Abhishek, right? So, so Dipta, Bihar's capital city, well, though it is doubtful, you cannot show. Generally, generally speaking in grammar, right, the possessive should be used for living things only. Bihar is a living thing or not? Well, depends. If you personify, you can do that. Cities can be thought of as, states can be thought of as as one's mother. So in that case, it is fine. But the problem is, the absence of but in and it's also one of the older, right? So the problem is with this, right? So that is what is the case. Everybody is clear, I hope, right? Okay, now let's look at the next question. Next question is this. So eliminate if required. Eliminate as in correct. Find the best way of rewriting the italicized part of the sentence. अविरल एस एंड एपोस्ट्रोफी एस में बहुत डिफरेंस है. अविरल एपोस्ट्रोफी एस मीन्स पोजेसिव. सो इफ आई से राम एपोस्ट्रोफी एस ब्रदर, दैट मीन्स राम के भाई. ठीक है. बट if I use s without apostrophe after a person, that would be wrong, right? So if I say bottles, s, that is plural. Apostrophe s is indicative of possessive. So that is one is the difference. Right. Okay. Now, so let's see. Revati, the difference between however and nevertheless, right? Difference between nevertheless and however. Okay. However means contradiction. Nevertheless is very similar to but still. Nevertheless means but still. However means contradiction. X was there. However, his brother was not there. Right. It means simple contradiction. But if I say nevertheless, nevertheless means I was tired. Nevertheless, I continued taking classes. Right. So it means still. So that it means still, fir bhi. So that is what's the difference. Right. It's more of a meaning than anything else. Okay. Right. So let's see what should be the answer. Okay, so people have already started answering. So B seems to be the favorite. Some people have given D also, C. So quick mixed, answer. Let me quickly tell you. The best answer is B. What is the issue? Requires is the verb. It requires a, right? You have requires a, right? Now this is B, right? So requires A, B, and I do not require another verb. I require simply, I do not require this demands, because requires is already there. So it's like saying require A, requires B, and requires C. So here I do not need a verb. So eliminate this. Now requires strong interpersonal skills, A, requires the ability to think fast, B, and a can-do attitude. Now this is C here, which means the correct answer is B, right? Look at it. If you look at C, requires strong interpersonal skills, right? Requires strong interpersonal skills, demands the ability to think fast. Now if this were correct, you require a verb again here. Demands the ability to think fast and a can-do attitude. No, there is a verb. Right, there's a verb here. So here also you need to have a verb, which is missing. So you need to take it out. Right. So D is wrong for the reason that if you have already requires here, you cannot use demands. Right. Now, but with is something which is contradictory. So everybody is clear with this. Right. Is it all clear? It's like saying I require A, B, and C. I cannot say I require A, B, and need the C. I cannot do that. Right. It will have to be the same verb, or otherwise use different verbs with all the three cases. All clear, everybody? So this is more a knowledge of your structure of the sentence, right? Now, let's try another question. This question is, in fact, though it is not exactly error spotting, this is something which is, I wanted to show you. This is from XAT, an old, question. This is something which is about vocabulary. Here also, parts of speech, your ability to understand what will come up here, which parts of speech along with vocab will definitely help you. And here, it looks like fill in the blanks. Well, fill in the blanks can be easy, but this, just understand, it is just one question. You have to fill 4 blanks. So it will probably take a little bit longer. Let's see. Right. Now, in the matter of disease and healing, right, the people have been treated as dash. The people have been treated as dash. Read the whole sentence. The doctor is a dash and the people are stupid. So the doctor is stupid, drum-driven cattle. So it's the way, it's the way doctors treat patients as if they know nothing. So contrast it with what the doctor thinks of himself. Right. And the average physician is a dash. If he is anything, he goes about like a roaring lion seeking whom he may scare to death. This is the clue as to what might come here. Right. So the last sentence is the clue as to what might come. The average physician is a dash. If he's anything, right, he scares people. So somebody who scares people, what does he do? Right. Somebody who scares people. In fact, if you notice, right, the best answer would be, it's not a jingoist, right? Eliminate this, right? And if you notice, pariah can actually you can be used in the first, right? Stickler is a positive word, stickler for rules. So I have eliminated D because of 2 things, right? Now I have eliminated E, right? What about D? Trash, right? So as trash is fine here. The doctor is a specialist, is a positive word. The doctor is a dash who knows it all. You require the doctor to be, he thinks very highly of himself. So in fact, the best answer would be C here. The best answer would be C, right? Who's a serf? Serf means a peasant, somebody who is your slave, right? Now, dictator is basically what? Somebody who controls everything. So in fact, the 2 words are very clear. And in fact, fearmonger is also very suitable. Fearmonger is a person who scares other people, somebody who sells fear. That is what it means. So somebody he scares people to death. So the best answer is D, right? And if you notice, what is the problem with B? They have been the people have been treated as patients. Now they are treated badly. They are treated badly is not reflected in patients, right? And in the second blank, right, dictator suits very well. In the last blank, fearmonger suits very well, right? Now, and why not option B? Option B, omniscient. Okay, option B, patience. The first thing is that The people in the matter of disease and healing, the people have been treated as patients. I mean, only patients will be treated, not everybody. So when you say the people, you mean everybody else except the doctor. So he treats people badly. Treating people badly is not reflected when I use patients. Clear, everybody? Right. So use a word. Serf is like a slave. Who is a serf? A serf is a person who works, who is a farmer, who does not own the land. He works on the farm, but the farm belongs to somebody else. Okay? Right. And even in D, right, if you look at it, even in D, specialist, right, the doctor is a specialist who knows it all. Specialist is at best, it is, does it mean that he thinks very highly of himself? No. Look for opposites of word like stupid, dumb, drivel, cat, so somebody who would be on the other end, stupid, dumb, driven cattle. So it's like somebody, the doctor is a person who controls everybody, right? Look at it like this. The people have been treated as dash while the doctor is. So these two words should be also like slightly opposites, right? So trash and specialists are not opposites, but serfs and dictators are the opposite end of the entire scale, right? So omniscient is not about thinking highly of himself. Omniscient is about, देखो Saifuddin, I have eliminated B because of patience. I have eliminated B because of patience. So do not need to worry about it. By the way, think about like this. Serf is a slave. Dictator is the master. So the people are the slaves. The doctor is the master. So the most suitable is C. And also look at fearmonger. Fearmonger, somebody who scares to death. So these are the clues which will help you. Okay, so that is what is the case, right? Shivam, omniscient means omni means all and scient is know, right? So omniscient means somebody who knows everything. And Bhanu Prakash, you're correct. Fearmonger will help you get the answer. It will be made better by the combination of serf and dictator also. Correct, right? So Aviral, feeling fear in XAT verb. Okay, don't have to be afraid. XAT verbal is a little bit challenging, I know. The only good thing is it is less lengthy and you will have more time. I mean, comparative compared to other exams. But you'll have to be very careful. Right. Okay, now this question I will skip. This question I'll skip. I will look at the last question for the day. This is the last question for today. Let's see. Right. Now, be very careful. Again, fill in the blank, but 4 blanks. Try to eliminate if required. Okay. Right. Okay. So Suman Vishwas was wishing me some time ago. Suman, hello, welcome. I hope you did not miss out many classes. You can actually you joined towards the end. Let's see. So this is the last question for the day. The author has dash his composition to the best of his dash. Yet listen to it with a sympathetic dash, dash souls and judge it. Right. So let's see. Listen to it with a sympathetic. A very good clue will be given by sympathy is when you are kind. So what is the most suitable for kindness? Is it mind? No. Is it mind? Intellect is basically your mind again, right? So if you notice, what is more suitable is heart, right? Righteous is also suitable. So choose between D and E. Choose between D and E. So I've just looked at one, right? Honed and polished and refined, all are fine. But mind, sympathetic heart is more suitable. It is the heart is what we have to be suitable. It is the heart which has to be sympathetic. Okay, right. Now let's see. The author has now the 2 options which are left are D and E. So choose from D and E, which is better, right? Refined it to the best of his thoughts, not suitable, to the best of his skill. Ingenuity means skill. So he has refined it to the best of his ability or his skill. So the best answer is ingenuity. Refined it to the best of his thoughts. Thought is not skill. You do something to the best of your skill or ability, not thoughts. Right. So I do something to the best of my skill, knowledge, not thought. Right. So the best answer is D. Right. I do not know how many people got it correct. Right. So if you notice, every word here will be a clue. Right. So if you notice, I eliminated option A, B, and C by using one clue, sympathetic. So look for clues like this, and then the other clue is, composition to the best of his ability, right? Thought is not ability, it is basically ingenuity, which basically means skill, which is nothing else but a, skill, cleverness. Ingenuity means skill, cleverness. So therefore, this is an ability, right? Everybody is clear with this, right? So the best answer is D, right? All clear. So with that, we come to the end of the discussion of questions. Everybody is clear with this, I hope. So what is important is, when you take XAT, right, you need to keep your focus entirely on the questions. Do not miss out even a single word. Read everything with good focus, and most important of all, right, of course, vocab and grammar is also important, but also be able to interpret what the author wants to say. So that is important. Okay. So before I go, let me quickly tell you about the Gradeup community. This is something which you can join. It will help you stay updated with all the news related to your field. There will be daily quizzes and mini mocks. You can engage with your peers and learn from it. There are some important series for XAT 2021, right? How to attempt XAT QA, right? Learn it in 5 days. This is a series going on. Crack arithmetic of XAT in 4 sessions, right? So these are all series which are going on. You can actually give it a shot, right? So that is what you can do. Again, Saifuddin, what's a good attempt in verbal? First of all, there's nothing like, before the exam is conducted, no, we should not say what is a good attempt, because it depends on the difficulty level, right? So the only thing which we have to do is attempt as many questions as we can, right? And that is what we have to be looking at. In XAT, you also have negative marking for leaving questions beyond a certain number. Details, nitty-gritties, I do not have it on my fingertips, but in XAT, they also have negative marking. Apart from wrong, if you leave more than, let's say, a certain number of questions, they will also, they also give negative marking. Right. So, one previous question, let's not go back to it. Right. What was the previous question? What was the question? You mean this one? This one. Yes, I explained already. Dekho, serf is a slave, dictator is the master. So the relation between the patient and the doctor, right, the way the doctor treats, this is one thing. Fearmonger is somebody who scares, right? So that way, because of these 3 clues, the best answer is this, right? Clear hai? Right. Now, there are some important courses. There would be a special course for GD, WAT, and PI. WAT is written, the writing assessment test. This is basically meant to, give you to help you in the second round, right? And one most important thing, there is this installment plan introduced in Gradeup, right? If you would like to, pay, if it is a 12-month plan, you can pay in 3 installments. If it's an 18-month plan that you're buying, it can be for 4 installments, right? So these are the people who would be taking your classes. Take a quick look at their scores. They have been, scoring like this only in multiple exams which they have taken. There are 6 of them here. There are 5 here, and there are 2. So these are the people who will be taking your classes. Right. So with that, we come to the end of the session. I hope all of you understood and learned. Right. So that is it, everybody. Have a nice day and all the best in all your endeavors so far. Thank you.